Now, you're originally from Toronto.
Yes.
Canadian television, how did it differ from the United States television in regards to dealing with African Americans on TV?
There were no African Americans on TV when I was there.
Hmm.
There are very few African Americans in Toronto when I was there, if you want to know the truth. I mean, I went to a college where I think there were, 40,000 people. There might have been 10 African Americans. African Canadians, I guess you'd have to say. But yeah, television is, first of all, it's a small country. There are 15,000 people, and the big television station is run by the government. There's one private network. And most of the shows that we see are American shows that are shown up there. Everything that's a hit down here you can see in Toronto.
See up there. Does the CBC create sitcoms
Yes.
themselves? I mean, you used to have Second City TV.
Yeah,
and we're back in the 70s.
occasionally.
Okay.
And they've tried, and they've asked a number of us ex-Canadians to come back and do some shows, and we've never been able to really hit with any. There's one or two shows that are seen only in Canada, comedies, that are successful up there, but not at the same level as a successful show would be seen here.
So what brought you into writing for black television shows? How did that connection, from a Jewish person, how did somebody look at you and go, you know what, you'd be great for writing this black show?
Well,
I'm sure it didn't happen that way.
No, well, it happened in not great for a black show, but I was doing a show for Marlo Thomas, That Girl. And Norman Lear, who was doing Sanford Son, was having a problem with Red. Red didn't like his producer. And so Norman said, I hear you guys got along with Marlo. And we said, sure, we did. He says, well, if you can get along with Marlo, you can get along with Red. There was this reputation about her being horrible and tough and miserable, and the fact was she wasn't any of those things. She was just fine. But that got us the job, and naturally we said yes. We wanted to work, So and once we got that show, and we moved on to the spin-offs, and we found ourselves doing What's Happening. Before I knew it, we were the Jewish guys who do the black shows.
Now, you were saying before that characters in some shows could be white or black. It was the character that was the strength of the person. But when you were writing these shows, like the Cosby Show and Sanford Son, how did you draw that kind of Afro-American aura into the show, being a white Jewish?
I think the stars did it more than the writers. Red would make suggestions. Bill would be conscious of his blackness. Is that such a word? Blackness.
There is.
And I was conscious of my whiteness. No. And yes, Your Highness. No, that's enough. Okay. Yeah, we wrote funny to be good. We weren't.
So you just basically wrote the show.
We weren't trying to prove anything here.
Yeah. Well,
we were conscious of the fact that it was a black family, but.
Well, did you have to research? Did you have to
research?
You had read.
No. We wouldn't let them join a white country club if a country club didn't have blacks. That's about as far as we went into research.
Well, Mr. Orenstein, Mr. Charleton, I want to thank you for joining us today. I've enjoyed our discussion. That wraps up our discussion time. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts with us. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up Direction Northeast.
I don't think like you.
I don't laugh at the same jokes as you.
I don't speak like you.
I don't eat the food you do.
I don't celebrate the same holidays as you.
But I will help save your life.
When you help the American Red Cross, you help America.
That concludes the program for today. We've talked about television and its portrayal of African American culture. Thanks again to our guests for this program, Mr. Bernie Orenstein and Reverend C.H. Charleton. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects they find important. We encourage you to get out and explore the natural beauty of our region and be aware of all the issues concerning your community. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Anthony Frazier, and this is Direction Northeast.